Okay, so I'm going to share with you how I do this very simple and quick repair on your dough. And what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be replacing one of the side Chichikawa or leather loops on my dough. Doing this repair is pretty easy, but I feel like sometimes people get stuck on how to do the knot on it. But I'll show you everything that I do step by step and give you some pointers or tips that you can do to make sure that you're more efficient and it comes out nicer. Most likely you will want to know how to make the knot that goes behind the leather loop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a timestamp down below so you can go fast forward to that point. But if you want to see the whole process, enjoy the video. Don't forget to subscribe and please like the video if you enjoy this. Thank you. These are the tools that I'm going to be using today. Mainly, I just want to point out that the scissors I'm using, I use bonsai scissors because I feel that they cut through leather very nicely and they just come very handy because they're compact. I'll leave a link down below if you'd like to check them out. First thing we have to do obviously is to remove the himo. Now, because this was broken, it's going to be pretty easy and I can just cut this off here and just slide it out. Obviously, we're going to use this later, so I'll save it. After, what we need to do is to remove the knot that's already made on the leather loop. Now, sometimes, because it's already broken, you're able to pull it through, but it doesn't look like you're gonna be able to do it here. So what I do is I get this thing to help me loosen up the knot. Now, once you get to do the knot, you're gonna understand a little bit of how to undo it. Just so you know, there's going to be one leather piece that is kind of like the closing loop, the closing end, and that's what you want to find to pull it out. In this case is this one, comes off. Okay, done. Now the only thing that I didn't get that will probably make your life easier here is going to be pliers. The leather loop. When you buy these, sometimes they come separated, they come pre-cut already. When they're pre-cut, they might be a little bit more difficult to get through the hole. I like to have them whole instead of pre-cut. I think it makes it easier to fit it through the hole of the dough. And if you're having too much trouble, let me show you a little tip that I do in order to get them through a little bit easier. What you need to do is just need to get a little bit of tape. You put all of the leather pieces together. You fold it into like a nice little pocket. I don't put it too tight just so that way it's easier to remove it after. And then just cut it into a narrow shape type of thing that you can just literally fit through the hole and then put from the other side. And everything comes out nice and neat. What I like to do is I like to pull all the way until the leather, it's tight and fit in there. It's not loose. And normally, if this is whole, this will be the point where you want to cut them. Now, some little tips that you can do is that you cut it from the top, make sure that you split them out, then you can flip it out to the other side and get the other leather side, the other leather string, and cut it from there. Here's a part where most people get a little bit confused, or they kind of forget how to do this. It's super easy, super simple. Let me show you how to tie the knot a little bit differently. I'm not gonna use the dough because it was really hard to get a good angle and a good line on the knot. So I used two tatsuki to help visualize how the knot is tied. I got two tatsukis and I imagine that you pass the leather through the loop, through the little hole, and the four pieces are the four ends of the tatsuki. I make sure I separate them all away from each other. Then the first one I'm going to fold it, I'm going to leave a little bit of slack out. And then the second one I pass over to the right. The one from the top I pass over down to the bottom. The one on the right I pass over to the left, but I put it through the slack, as you see here. And then I just make sure I pull all the sides to make a tight knot. and you should end up with this square knot that will stay on your doll and will not allow the leather to come loose. Hopefully this was helpful, and if you have any questions or any comments or you do it differently, please leave it down in the comments below. I would like to know. More or less, it should be the almost final result. What you want to do after that is just cut off the excess after you make sure that it's secure. So I like to do is I like to pull it out to just make sure that it's tight, and you should end up with this nice square knot. I make sure that it's tight on all ends. Okay, then when I'm confident, I cut them out. At the end, if you have some pliers, you can do a little bit of pulling at the end and just to make sure that everything's extra secure. But this should be it. This should be good. At the end, we cannot forget to put back our himo, and I like to make sure it's straightened out. When I put the himo on, what I like to do is I like to go from the outside towards the inside. What this does, it gives me a little bit of a better fit on it because the himo's coming out from the leather, and I feel like it just looks nicer. It doesn't really matter when you're doing it for the dough, because if you mess up, you can flip it, you can flip the leather and it will be on the outside regardless. But when you're putting it on the Chichikawa, for example, on the man, I feel like that matters. It just makes a better feel, a nicer feel to go smoother from the knot back towards where you're gonna tie it. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. Remember, I do streamings on Sundays at 3:30 p.m. but I'll be changing it to Saturdays mornings. I haven't figured out the time yet. But anyways, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below, or join the Discord where you can just ask any questions there. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.